So, welcome to today's class. I remain myself, Anthony, and welcome to Anthony um, Academy. Well, so today, like you can see now on the screen, on the board, or on the sheet, uh, we'll be treating sword. So, from the word sword involve rational and irrational numbers, like rational and irrational numbers. That is also what is all about, rational and irrational numbers. Now, integrals, integers, and those numbers which can be expressed in form of p over q, where p and q are integers, and where q is not equal to 0, are called rational numbers. Thus, 1, 3, 6, and 1 over 3, 1 over 2, and 1 over 7 are rational numbers. Now, which I'm going to explain that further on our next video. Now, uh, decimal fraction can be expressed as ratio of two integers. Are you getting it now? And are also rational numbers. Like example, we have 36 is equals to 3.6 equals to 36 over 10. Are you getting it now? Which is 0.6 equals to, and 0.6 equals to 6 over 10. All these are rational numbers. Numbers which cannot be expressed in form of p and q are known as irrational numbers. So like I was that is very clear now. Rational numbers are numbers that are not equal to 0 and that can be expressed as p over q, where p and q are what? Are integers. Alright? Are integers. That means 1 over 7, 1 over 8, all these are rational numbers. So when you divide them, they cannot be equal to 0. Are you getting now? Like for example, 1 divided by 2 will give us 0.5, right? But 1 divided by 1 will give us 0. So when it's equal to 0, it is what? Irrational numbers. But when it's not equal to 0, they are rational numbers. I think that explains all what we mean by rational and irrational numbers. Now, or rational numbers, example of rational numbers, example are square root 2, square root 3, and square root 7. So they cannot be expressed as what? They cannot be expressed in form of fractions. Are you getting it? They cannot be expressed in form of fractions. That is that. So quickly, we are going to dive into some samples. What will understand what we are trying to say. For instance, I'll give you one sample, then I give you a question on it. We'll solve a question on it. So let's assuming that we are having okay, I'm thinking we're having something like square a square b. So simply we just divide this into 2 square roots, right? Are you getting it now? This is it, into 2 square roots. So we know that square root cancels square root, so we have our a times square root b. See, very simple. So let's assume we're having another one here as x square y square z. So same thing, simply just put them into different square roots. Z, right? Square cancel square root, square cancel square, so we have x, y, z. Is that simple? Yes, very simple. Very what? Simple. ABC. Chicken now. very simple. So I want us to dive into some real examples. Some real examples. So I want to dive into some real examples. So kindly open your pay attention. So I'm looking for a particular question that we can use to solve. Okay, we'll just solve right now, and let's pick this one. Let's pick this. So I pick a question where they say simplify 5a times 54 times square root 24. So now we want to simplify this using this the rule of sword, right? We want to simplify this using the rule of sword. I guess you already know the answer already. So, but for the sake of no feedback from you, because it's not an online video, so you are not online right now. So I'll just pretend like as if we don't know it. So we don't know the answer yet. So let's solve it together. Now, for us to solve this, we are going to solve this in a separate form. So for us to solve this, we have to simplify it first. So we look for some perfect square numbers like that we can multiply together, that will give us 54. We look for some numbers we can multiply that can give us 54. Who can guess that number? Let's assume we're having 54. 9 times 3 will give us 27. 27 times 2 will give us 54. We can actually do it like this. 54 divided by 2 will give us 26. Am I correct? They will give us 27. 27 divided by 9 will give us 3. So we actually have our numbers as square root 9 times 3 will give us 27. 27 times 2 will give us what? 54. We'll put our times here. The same thing happens here too. 24 divided by 2 give us 12. 12 divided by 4 give us 3. So now we have 4 times 3 times 2. I hope you get that now. So on this form now, what do we do? On this place, what do we do? If you look at this right now, you will notice that we can actually bring them out like we do for the first one. So let's bring this one out. So we have square root 9 times square root 3 times square root 2 times square root 4 times square root 3 times square root 2. Are you getting it now? Now, this one will become 3 square root what? Square root 3 times square root 2 times 2 square root 3, right? Square root what? 2. So what do? We bring out them forward by saying 3 times 2 square root 3 times square root 3 times square root 2 times square root 2. Do you understand that now? So sorry if you cannot see the but this is what we just did. So we bring out 3 and 2, multiply at the front, times this times this times this times this. So what do we do from here? So what we are going to do from here is that if we multiply this, will give us 9, right? Which will become square root